there's so much Wemby still needs to work on. So it's crazy to think that I don't want him teamed up with another superstar or star because I believe it'll hinder his growth. Is that crazy? Also, shout out to Keldon Johnson. He was awesome.
I was with DeMarcus Cousins yesterday, and off camera, he detailed exactly the areas of growth that Wemby has. And to hear someone as talented as DeMarcus talk about how Wemby can get better, the spots he can get to when he gets stronger, what his game can look like when the game slows down even more, was pretty crazy. I don't think a superstar guard would slow him down, just to address the super chat, but um, it does really open your eyes about, like, Ron, to your point, like, we just scratching the surface with this guy,
I just think that
and it's going to be pretty well.
Damian, I think we passed the days of the bomb squads, not the bomb squads, the Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Draymond, KD. I think we passed that. Any guy that jumps on a group, any guy that jumps on that San Antonio team is aware this is Wemby's. Wemby is the man here. So whatever you're doing here, it's not gonna be at the expense of Wemby. You are gonna be the guy who's playing off of Wemby. We're not bringing you in. We're not bringing you in to pair with Wemby in terms of him being better. No, we're bringing you in to complement Wemby. That's what we're bringing you, because he's our building block. He's our centerpiece. So we don't need another. We don't need another superstar in here. No, we don't need that. We already have that. We just need players to complement him. As long as he can hold up,
we're trying to maximize him. Yeah,
that's it. As long as he can hold up, that's all that matters. Now, I appreciate the logic. Yo, if it's Giannis, we could get Giannis. But ultimately, if you are Wemby, and if you're the San Antonio front office, I want to maximize however many years I have with Wemby. I want to get as many guys to complement Wemby and make him the best player that he could possibly be, like they did with Tim Duncan. Very much like they did with Tim Duncan. So I just don't see the super team thing anymore. I just don't see that happening anymore.
I mean, what made that Warriors team so special is, like, the best players, like, obviously withstanding Steph Curry, are also, like, really good on both ends of the court. Like, that's kind of the dynamic that you're missing. Like, even when we've tried to have these recent, star pairings, like, for instance, like Giannis and Dame, like, Damian Lillard's like a clear negative defender. So the Warriors having Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson with Andre Iguodala was like, everybody focused on the offense of that team, which, I mean, understandably so, but, like, when they won the championship in 2017, they were the best playoff defense in the league that year. Like,
I think they were second in 22, if I'm not mistaken, when they won the championship. I think they were second in the league in defense. I think the only year that they weren't in the top 10 was in I want to say 19. They didn't win it that year, but they went to the NBA championship. 18 I'm talking about. I think they weren't in the top 10 as a defense, but that's always been their staple, the Warriors. Yes, we did focus on them offensively because, I don't know, you got the best shooter in the league. Right. You got the second best shooter in the league, right? You got arguably the best defensive player in the league. And then you add 28 a game to that. I mean, holy shit. How do we stop that?
I think it's always going to come down to complementary skill sets. Like, when we talk about bomb squads and things, I agree with you, Joe. I don't know if it's in their best interest to pair Wemby with a superstar in the front court, but maybe a guard that maximizes him could be interesting. And they might already have it in Dylan Harper. It's just a matter of, like, waiting, just letting this guy grow. And then all of a sudden you've got the best 1-2 punch in the league. Yeah, exactly.
Dylan Harper is the thing, but, like, I still don't see him. I think he's going to be a fantastic player. I still don't see that archetype of guard necessarily maximizing Wemby. Like, for me, I would like to see Wemby with, like, a Tyrese Halliburton, a LaMelo,
sure,
like
somebody that gets off the field more,
because they're still missing. Like, there's players you see, and it's because, you're not used to playing with somebody that's 7 foot forever, right? But, like, they're still missing some passing windows, because for anybody else on earth, that pass isn't available. But, like, it is for Wemby. And they're still not all the way there, because they're not, like, Hall of Fame passive playmakers like that.
Yo, this PC Ron here.
This is Chilltown Hoops.
Yo, this is Drench Man, not the French man.
Mars here.
This is Swiper. Yo, this is Big Ox.
I want to start by showing love to everybody that rocks with PC.
We appreciate y'all, whether you catch every episode.
Catch the clips, jump in the chat, or just support from a distance.
We see all of it.
We put a lot into this, a lot of time, a lot of energy.
And a lot of love. And we do it because we really care about giving y'all dope content and building the best sports community out there.
But if we being real, the way we can keep growing this thing and make more content, have better productions, more live events, more PC weekends, more meetups, all of that stuff.
It's through memberships.
The support really helps us keep this thing moving.
So if PC has ever been a part of your day,
Helped you get through work,
Made you laugh.
Made you mad, or just gave you somewhere to tap in with people who really love the game.
go check out the memberships tiers and see which one works best for you.
We're here every day doing this.
And with y'all behind us,
We can keep taking this to another level.
tap into the membership.
And let's keep building this thing, baby. PC to the top with you. Let's do it. Are
Real
we not
talk,
giving
what-
Stephon Castle his flowers? Stephon Castle be putting that ball on the money for
No,
me.
he's a really good passer. He's a good
I ain't gonna
passer.
argue that.
And
I love Steph
I
Castle,
think
man.
like also too, he might not be all of that good of a passer. It might be just the fact that he knows he can put it up there, and he puts it up there, and Wemby goes and gets it.
Do we live in a space, to your point, real talk, like you said, because maybe Harper isn't the guy to maximize Wemby? Am I trying to make him more of a distributor and that's hindering his game? It's a two-part question. Am I trying to make him more of a distributor, which will hinder his game because he's more of a bucket getter than he is? And number two, is that the space we live in where we do live in a space with the scoring guard, but is that because where we are in basketball, like that's what you need to be? You need to be Damian Lillard. You need to be Russell Westbrook and average 30 a game.
Well, look, for example, Russ, that's a great example, actually, right? Russ came into the league kind of more of a two guard. He was a two at UCLA, then transitioned to point guard in the league. If Dylan Harper can grasp what Russell was great at as a passer, which to me is his interior passing, if he can do that, then it's still sky's the limit for that group, because all Dylan Harper has to do, even if he's a score first or score heavy guard, hey, when you get into the teeth of the defense, know how to make lay down passes. When you get into the teeth of the defense, Wemby man steps up, know how to make that lob, and know how to make, a few lob passes out of pick and roll. That's what made the Shaq Kobe dynamic work as well, too. If you remember, like Kobe's best passing, in my opinion, was his interior passing. Like he had a really good feel for those lay down passes to Shaq, where Shaq can just, get it, go up, get it, dunk. He had a really good touch on his lob passes as well. They did,
While
to
not
me,
affecting
Kobe and
him-
Shaq didn't run a, they
While
didn't
not
run
affecting his
pick and
bucket
roll.
getting.
Yeah,
While not
exactly.
affecting his
exactly.
bucket getting. I can get with that, sure.
Mhm.
I guess I get when I think about the lead guard, there's times when I get wrapped up in the traditional lead guard and not thinking about a guy who can, get paint touches, penetrate into the teeth of the defense and, drop the ball off to your big guy at the rim, right? Drop the ball off to the big guy in the mid post, and we can get a floater or we could get a layup and stuff like that. I do get wrapped up a lot of times in the lead guard who controls the offense. And in addition to controlling the offense, he's a distributor first, but I don't want to, what I don't want to do is I don't want to hamper Harper's game as a scorer, but I do want him to be more of a distributor at the same time, because if all you are is a bucket getter, that's what I'm saying. Because if all you are is a bucket getter and you got a guy like Wemby, I don't think you maximizing your offense. But I also think he's young enough at this stage of his career that he's still trying to prove that, I could stick in the NBA. Like a lot of these guys, when they get into the league, the idea isn't to win, but you get thrust into a space like with San Antonio where, we're in the Western Conference Championship. We're in the NBA Finals. I'm still trying to prove that I'm still trying to get to my second contract. That's really what I'm trying to show that I can play in this league. So I think that's where it gets tricky for me when I think about the league guard spot.
So that super chat, when he was just talking about stars or superstars playing with Wemby, I'm fairly sure, and this is just my opinion, I'm fairly sure that Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper are A, either going to become stars, or B, it's a chance that one of them becomes a superstar. What we've been seeing from Dylan Harper in these playoffs, it's mind-blowing. For a first-year guy, a rookie, to just look this poised, look this smooth, get to his spots. Like, if you're watching, there's no way that, and you just didn't know, you didn't have any context. Let's say you were just teleported from the 90s. There's no way you would believe, just watching his team, there's no way you would, one, believe that he was a rookie. If you just didn't hear any commentary, you just watched the game, you wouldn't believe he was a rookie. And then you would also be like, why the hell is this guy coming off the bench?
He should be starting. But that's because, again, of who he's playing with. But Ron, I got a question for you. And
will happen.
I think it's interesting because I want you to, because you brought up these
Ron
two guys.
ready to be nasty. He ready to be.
Nah,
Well, these two guys as a backcourt with both Castle and Harper, like looking into the future.
Man.
Ron, I want you to take Wemby and I want you to put him in Washington. How much better are Castle and Harper better than Wall and Bradley Beal if Wemby is in Washington?
You're asking me, are they better than Wall and Bradley Beal?
Because I know how you feel about these two guys as a backcourt. And I want you to take Wemby and I want you to put him in
Cover your
Washington.
ears, Ox.
I want you to put Wemby in Washington. What does Bradley Beal and John Wall look like with Wemby?
So I'm first off, I just want to let this be known. They're not better than those two yet.
Okay.
Wemby in Washington, that team they're going to the championship a few different years. Like they are making finals runs. John Wall getting to the paint, dumping it off to Wemby. Bradley Beal now being freed up to be a ISO scorer and a two-way player. And Wemby just at that point being a top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 player in the league, holding down the defense, having shooters around him. That team is like, sorry, LeBron. That team's coming out the East a couple years.
What do they look like? What does Dame and CJ look like with Wemby in terms of a backcourt?
Eerily similar. Wemby, for those guys, they're not as good on defense, so Wemby covers them up on defense. But then also, too, like, you know, Dame and CJ were a nightmare to guard. So then when you throw Wemby in there, setting screens, picking and popping, and cleaning up their misses on the offensive glass, once again, getting in the paint, throwing up lobs. Like, you remember Dame and CJ, those were small guards. So when they get in the paint, they kind of have trouble with length and big men and stuff like that. Having Wemby as an outlet when you get in an emergency situation or when you get trapped or when you get to a spot in the paint and you can't really do anything and you know you could just throw it up to the rim and Wemby's going to go get it, that right there relieves so much pressure and it makes it so much more easier for you guys to execute on the offensive end. Yep. Saying you have two elite guards at getting in the paint and being able to do that makes your team so much more better. But then once again on the defensive end, when you have Wemby that's able to cover up for the flaws of some of these smaller guards, all of a sudden, you can't really pick on us as much as you used to be able to pick on us. All of a sudden, that's not really what's going to, be the one thing that's going to beat us. So Wemby would make a lot of these elite backcourts so much more better, which comes back to the point of right now. They have an elite backcourt and De'Aaron Fox is here too. Let's not we're talking about these guys, but De'Aaron Fox is here too. They have an elite backcourt, and it's part of the reason why we're seeing what we're seeing right now. I have no reason not to believe that Wemby wouldn't turn up Bradley Beal and John Wall or CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard as well.
Which is fair, Ron. Now, I want to ask you the last part about this. I want to take Wemby off the table because I know how you feel about these two guys as a backcourt moving forward. So in 3 years, how much better do you think they are than DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry? You think they clear them? You think John? You think Castle and Harper clear Lowry and DeMar DeRozan?
Based on what I'm projecting, Stephon Castle right now.
You think he better than DeMar DeRozan?
No.
I was giving you 27 at his best.
Right. So let's hold on.
I'm saying so. Look. Stephon Castle and Kyle Lowry right now is peak. Kyle Lowry right now is a conversation, and I'm taking Stephon Castle. Y'all could be mad at y'all could be mad. So when it comes to defense between them, Stephon Castle is just as good, if not better. Just due to on ball pressure, versatility, size, athleticism, and all of that. He's just that. Like, if you put Stephon Castle on that team, now he is a little more flawed than Kyle Lowry, even though Kyle Lowry had his flaws. Stephon Castle's flaws are a little more glaring in terms of the shooting. But when we're talking about rim pressure, when we're talking about being a demon in transition, when we're talking about being able to make cuts and finish in the paint and stuff like that, like Stephon Castle, I think what, and I said this again months ago, we sleep on just how good Stephon Castle really is. I think I think this season he was the second best player for the Spurs.
I actually like Castle better. Like, just I don't know if he's gonna be better, but I just like him better. I just think that he's just got that nastiness to him as well, which is crazy. But sure, I actually like that when we talked about the prototypes. I think like a peak John Wall next to Wemby would have been like, I think that's the guy you're looking for, Chill, when you were asking that question before. Like a guy that can get me 25, but also give me like 12 dimes, and is excellent in transition, can get easy buckets. Like that's the type of guy that he would.
Damien, can you give me 1 second, Damien?
Sure.
Chill. What the hell do you mean you could dig it?
I can dig it. Yeah, I can dig it. Sure.
Because it's Kyle Lowry. It's not like I can understand if you would have said Rajon. I know how you feel about Rajon Rondo.
No, I
can understand if you would have said.
This isn't
I can understand
about
if you
how
would
I
have
feel about these players. This is not
Lowry was
about
pretty
that,
solid
bro.
offensively.
This is about just basketball.
That's
this isn't
it.
about
That's what we're
feelings.
talking
This isn't
about.
about emotions. This isn't about playing favorites. This is about basketball. We're talking about this kid in peak Kyle Lowry. I need y'all to relax.
What is peak Kyle Lowry?
Don't give me wrong,
what
bro.
is peak Kyle Lowry?
Pete Kyle Lowry is a top tier defender, great facilitator, knockdown shooter. He is a floor general. This is Pete Kyle Lowry. Like, let's calm the fuck down. Y'all see, y'all got me cursing. It's too early for this. But I'm saying just hold on, because I listen
Great
to
leader
y'all.
too.
I listen
Great
to y'all.
leader.
It is that deep. It is that deep.
It's
It
really
is.
not. We're talking
It
about
is
Kyle
too.
Lowry.
Because if this
We are
if
talking
this
about
team,
Kyle of Lowry.
So once again, just like Real Talk didn't know how good Clyde Drexler was, you clearly don't know how good Kyle Lowry was. This is crazy, bro.
It's the panel. Religion get built on cam. Where the chat throw smoke and the host go ham. You ain't never seen hoops out hit the raw. Every take got weight, every night we drop. This that barbershop. Courtside, worldwide tone. Welcome to the only show that really feel like numbers jumping like the score.